What's up guys, Becky here, and today we're gonna do a short little workout of my 3 favorite exercises for lower back pain. So if your lower back has been feeling stiff, it's feeling tight, it's not feeling too happy, then grab your mat. You won't need any equipment. Join me for this quick little workout. Let's get started. So we are going to start lying flat on our backs. Roll yourself all the way down. And we're just going to start by orienting ourselves with a neutral pelvis, orientating ourselves with our pelvis, orienting. And so just take your hands, make a little triangle, heel of the hands on the hip bones and fingertips on the pubic bone. You should have a nice triangle there that you could balance a little espresso on. So you're going to tip your triangle back, flattening your lower back, and then tip away. And tip down and tip away. So as you tip down, think of elongating your lower back. Elongating the lower back. Good. Down and up. And down and up. So you're tipping the pelvis back and tipping away. And we're just warming up our lower back here. So if your lower back is feeling a little bit sensitive, it needs a little bit more attention, a little more love, this can also work to warm up your lower back before a workout. So now I want you to find that neutral and just see if you can draw a little circle on your lower back. So your knees might move a little bit, but you want to keep them relatively stable. And think pouring your weight to the left, back, right, and tailbone. Left, back, right, and tailbone. Good job. So we're kind of circling through our pelvis here, warming up our lower back. Good, let's reverse direction, tip away, flatten, and the other way. Good. Trying to keep those knees relatively stable. They might move a little bit. Circling around. We're gonna come back to center. Now just hug your knees into your chest, stretching out your lower back. Just great to get that lower back nice and mobile before we get into any work. But what I have found in the case of lower back pain is a lot of times it's immobile because the muscles are kind of overworked. They're working too hard. Those low back extensors are really cranked when the hips should be helping out, helping to take some of the load. So what we're gonna do for our first exercise is actually a hip bridge. So I want you to have your heels close to your seat. Think about your thigh bones pointing right out from the pelvis and find that neutral position again. So you should be able to balance a little espresso on the front of your hips. Ribs are closed, connect to the tummy. So pull the abs into the spine and lift the pelvic floor. So you've got a good inner corset on. Push through the whole foot, lift the hips up, and then just drop them back down. Lift and lower. And you can think about your sacrum, that little triangle bone above your butt crack is just dropping, lifting, dropping, lifting, dropping, lifting. There's no more delicate word to say than butt crack. It is what it is. Dropping and lifting, pushing through the whole foot. So we work the back to open the front, right? And hopefully you're feeling this in the glutes. But if you do feel your lower back, just think tip your tail under just a little bit. Drop, lift, drop, lift. So sometimes it takes a little adjustment to find those glutes. Keep the core on. Drop, lift, drop, lift. We'll do 5, 4. I like to work between 10 and 12 reps. 3, 2, and 1. So that's exercise number 1. You're gonna try out a glute bridge. Exercise number 2, we're gonna come down onto our side. And you're just going to let your head rest down on your armpit. Extend both legs straight out, okay? And just notice how your pelvis is sitting. So a lot of times with lower back pain, it's a pelvic position and that the side muscles of the pelvis aren't really helping out the back that much. So what we're gonna do is make sure your top hip is on top of your bottom hip. So you've got a straight line right here. You can rest your head down. You're gonna push your bottom foot into the floor for stability and lift the top leg up, just to a little higher than pelvic height. And then watch your hips and make sure you don't roll. You're gonna drop down and you're gonna lift up. And that's it. Super simple, it's called abduction. And if you like, you can put your hand out in front for stability. But really think, shrink wrap those inner corset muscles. Good. And it's down and it's up. and it's down, and it's up. And as you lower that leg, you almost feel a little stretch, and then back up. So a little stretch into the top hip, lift, stretch, and lift, stretch, and lift. Once again, 10 to 12 reps is good. Do them a couple times. But I want you to focus on quality and not quantity, all right? We want to do these as much as possible. So once, twice, 3 times a day. Good. Let's do 5, 4, 3. Keep those hips stable. 2, and 1. Good. Resting that leg down, give yourself a little tap out. The next exercise is going to be clamshell, so I want you to bend the knees and squeeze the heels together. Connecting to the core, make sure you have that top hip on top of the bottom one. We open the knees and we close them up. So we just worked in a lateral plane. Now we're doing some more rotational work. So you're thinking of rotating that thigh bone around within the joint. So just remember that the thigh bone is independent of the pelvis, okay? They exist together, they work together, but that thigh bone moves totally differently. So you want to keep your pelvis stable. Open, close, open, close. Again, between 10 and 12 reps, but go for quality, not quantity. Make sure you're feeling those little muscles working. Good. 5, 4, 3, zipping up the tummy, 2, and 1. Rest that leg down, give yourself a little tap out. So those are my 3 exercises: glute bridges, abduction, and clamshells, but we gotta repeat it all on the second side. And repetition is key to success and learning how to move your body properly. So let's come all the way down onto our side, stack one leg on top of the other, rest your head, and make sure your pelvis is nice and neutral here, stacked. Zip up the tummy, push the bottom foot into the floor for stability. We lift and we lower, and you don't have to lift too high here. So notice and kind of find the sensation of when you lower that leg, that muscle kind of stretches away, and when you lift it up, it pulls like a rubber band, down and up. So it helps to stabilize your leg when you're walking, running, moving. Helps us switch on those muscles if we've been sitting on them for a long time. But the key here is not the count. Don't count. Think about keeping your pelvis stable, really working through those side bum muscles. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now I want you to bend your knees, heels together, connected to the core, and we're spiraling open and closing. So the key here is make sure this hip does not move. If you have a laser pointer right here, it's gonna point straight forward. And we're opening and closing, spiraling through those muscles, open and close. Good, getting those little side bum muscles, we're working in a rotational plane here. So remember that the thigh bone is independent of the pelvis. You can even put a hand to your lower back just to make sure that lower back is not moving. Find those little muscles in your hips that are gonna help you out. Good. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Very nice. You can lower down, give yourself a little tap out. Now I just want to leave you with one little stretch that can really help with lower back pain. Crossing your ankle over your knee and hugging that shape in. So you can hug underneath the thigh or on top of the thigh. That's called a figure 4 stretch, and it really stretches out the hips. Again, don't think about the count so much. Think about doing it for 3 breaths. So you really find the relaxation here. Last one. We're gonna switch sides. So uncross that leg, cross the left over the right, pull that shape in, nice and flat through the whole skeleton, the whole spine. You can rock from side to side, massaging your lower back if that feels good. Big breath in and sigh out. Really good job. One more time. You can uncross, roll yourself up to seated. Thank you so much for joining me today for 3 exercises to help fix your lower back pain. I hope you really enjoyed this workout. If you did, make sure you subscribe, like, and share with your friends, and I'll see you next time. Bye.